Well, you've been living in Saudi Arabia for a while,
Yes.
and you have a barbecue restaurant in Saudi Arabia.
Yes, yes.
The name? What's the name of it again?
Q Smokey Bears, Q. We just opened up a bakery, Bakersfield, and we also have a burger spot, smash burger spot called Okla. Me and my partners.
Wow. Okay. And I remember Kanye showed up at your barbecue spot.
Wow. He showed up even at the studio we at right now. He was that we doing this podcast. He came here too. He's with the owner's a good friend of mine, so he was here doing some stuff as well. But he did come to the restaurant, bro, and it was I don't even know how to describe that interaction. It was very strange, bro.
Well, I think at the time Kanye was coming off all the anti-Semitic stuff.
Yes.
How did you feel about that?
I feel look, in our religion, we don't attack nobody based on religion. Nobody. That's something that our religion tells us to do. I believe that in the industry, I kind of understood where he was coming from. In the industry, let's keep it real, is ran by Jews. So he feel like the Jews run everything, and he spoke bad about the Jews. They took $600 million from him, so he was trying to prove his point that they got all the power, which is okay. They did. If you do good business moves and that's how you end up, nobody could be mad at that. They were strategic. They did their thing, and they took over. You can't be mad at them because they beat you to the race. You understand? So, because I'm a Muslim and we don't attack nobody based on their religion, that's something I can't do. Do I know that the industry is ran by certain people? Yes, of course, 100%. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, if he went on Twitter and said, I'm going DEFCON 4 on Muslims,
I wouldn't like that. Of course.
Would you still have him eat at your restaurant?
Probably not. I'm going to be honest. You know what I mean? Probably not. I couldn't really, just like if he went to a Jewish restaurant, they could have told him no. They had to, you know what I mean? I wouldn't accept him to speak bad about Muslims like that either. You understand? If, for example, there was people that spoke bad about Muslims on Twitter before, and I approached them, and I try to have a dialogue with them, and I try to give them understanding of the religion of Islam. If they don't understand after that, then I can't really, change their opinion. But I get where you're coming from because that's your religion. You know what I mean? So the same way if somebody disrespect Islam, I wouldn't like it.
Well, to me, it's not even so much of a religion because I'm not religious, but it's part of my DNA.
Yeah.
I even did a DNA test recently, and they showed that a big chunk of my DNA is Bedouin.
Man, you from Europe. You from Europe, bro.
I am from Eastern Europe, and a big chunk of my DNA is there. But also, I have Bedouin, which is Middle Eastern DNA.
At least you took your DNA, because I know a lot of them don't want to take the DNA, so I respect that.
I took it because you always hear, the Eastern Europeans are fake Jews and they're not really whatever. No, I took the DNA test. It actually showed that I have Middle Eastern roots. It is what it is.
Makes sense. It makes sense because
it makes sense. And when you go to places like Russia, you'll see that the Russian Jews they look different than the regular Russians. Their hair is a little bit frizzier. Their facial structure is a little bit different. I could, as a typical American, if you look at a bunch of Russians, you can't tell the difference. But I can tell the difference because this is where I'm from.
I see.
Right?
I see. Yes.
So, but I'm not religious, but you can't really talk about a group of people and say they're all the same. Just because you were born a certain type of way, you have the same tendencies. You have the same ideas. You have the same hatreds. You have the same likes. Yeah. No, that's ridiculous.
That's ignorant. Ridiculous. I agree with you. That's ignorant. I would never, I would never paint nobody, whether it's a religion, whether it's a, group of people, whether it's ethnicity, under the same brush. Steve LaBelle's still my homie to this day. You understand? That's my homie. I look at Steve LaBelle like he really like family to me. He's Jewish. I'm Muslim. Steve LaBelle came to me when I did a talk in Northridge University I'm speaking about Islam. He came and listened to me in the audience. It's respect there. You understand? When it comes to certain things, I might not agree with those group of people that's doing this. The same way some people, I won't agree with anybody that's doing certain stuff, even if it's against our own religion. You understand? But I would never paint a whole group of anybody with the same, bro. That's ignorance, bro. You know?
I agree. I agree. And look, I've publicly spoken about this. I feel that when you look at what's happening in Israel and the Hamas conflict, I've said that both parties, have a large degree of blame in this situation. I don't agree with, the attack that happened where, you know, a lot of people got killed, a lot of people got kidnapped, and so forth. I also don't believe in the heavy-handed response that Israel has done, where you see a lot of innocent people die in the process of them trying to kill, their actual enemies.
Yeah.
But just because you're not, you could be against the Israeli government, but not against Jews.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the government that's making those decisions. It's Netanyahu and the military leaders that are making those decisions. Yeah. Every Jew across the world can't be to blame over what a small group of people are doing.
I agree with you. You know what I mean? I don't know, if we break down what's happening in Palestine, no, like you just said out your own mouth, you don't agree with the heavy-handed. You're looking for a group of people, but 40,000 people was killed.
Right.
Like you just said, you don't agree with that.
Don't agree with it.
No way you can blame all the Jews. Similar, you can't blame all the Muslims who crossed the border and kidnapped, whatever. You understand?
Right.
But I get your point, bro. I'm on the same page with that. You know what I mean? I don't agree with what's happening against the Palestine. Just like as a Muslim, our religion tells us we wouldn't agree if somebody just start killing innocent Israelis. Because Islam is not a religion that tell you that you can openly just start killing innocent people no matter what. You understand? The Prophet Islam never done that. Our Prophet never done that. Even if you hate an individual, I still don't have a right to harm that individual. If I dislike an individual, I don't have a reason to harm that individual. You know what I mean? So that's what a lot of people don't understand. That Islam is not a religion. I don't know if you also know, like when Hitler was doing all that crazy stuff, a lot of Jews were saved by Muslims. I don't know if you know that. A lot of them was being, there's stories that the Albanian Muslims and the Turkish Muslims was giving the Jewish people Islamic IDs so that they can not be harmed. That's what the religion of Islam is about. So I get your point, bro, 100%.
Yeah, there's good people, there's bad people. Yeah. And also, if you're indoctrinated from an early age and you're told that this certain group of people are your natural born enemies, it's hard to get past that if you keep staying in that same echo chamber. You see what I'm saying? So if you grow up thinking, and you're Jewish in Israel, and you're growing up thinking all the Muslims hate you, they all want to do the river to the sea, which means to wipe out Israel until it's all Palestine, then you're going to think every Muslim I meet is my enemy. And if you grow up in the West Bank or, in Gaza, and all you're taught from an early age is that Jews are the enemies, they're the oppressors, they want us all to die, they want to wipe us out so they could take over the land and build hotels on there, and that's all you know, you're going to grow up angry at this group of people that you don't even know.
Vlad, I seen this Jewish guy, he's from New York, and he said, I remember before it was a state of Israel, it was called Palestine.
Yeah.
He said, right. I remember my grandmother telling me stories that we used to live with the Muslims. The Muslims and the Jews used to babysit each other kids. There was never no Muslim that automatically said we hate the Jews or Israel, for example. It wasn't until politics came, you understand? When they started making it a country of Israel or state of Israel, they started taking land. Naturally, you're going to want to fight back and rebel. You know what I mean? But before all of that, if you listen to some of the statements of the Jewish people, they said we never had an issue with a Muslim. A Muslim never even tried to harm us, you know what I mean? But when they, start taking land from people, because it's the reality. A lot of times people don't want to talk about it, but it is the reality.
And look, I've interviewed a lot of high-end military people, guys like Eric Prince, who started Blackwater, Robert O'Neill, who killed bin Laden. And what everyone says is that Iran is the one that's really funding a lot of the terrorist activity. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think Israelis funded it. I think they're all together, you ask me. Israeli and Iran. This is my opinion. Yeah.
Listen, a lot of bullshit's happening. And look, as I've been to Israel multiple times. I've been to Palestine. I've had dinner with Palestinian families in the West Bank. I've actually seen both.
Yeah.
99% of the people who are all, all gung-ho on social media, they've never even been over there. They've never been out of the country. True.
There's a big Palestinian community here in Saudi Arabia, even in America. I never heard a Palestinian, I'm being honest, that just say, I want to kill all Jews.
Right.
I never heard that. I heard them say, my grandfather had this land and all of a sudden they woke up and took their house and key. They complain about these things. But even with that, I'm being honest, I never heard them say, I just want to kill an Israeli or Jew. You know what I mean?
I've never met any Jewish people that say they want to just kill off all the Palestinians.
I see some videos.
Well, you can find videos on both sides, man. You can find extremists. Extremists happen on both sides.
Yeah, that's true.
And look, the reason why you have to go through all these security checks at airports is because one crazy guy who happens to be Muslim had bombs in his shoes and tried to light them on fire in the plane and actually try to explode. So this jackass messed it up for everyone for years to come.
But even that guy who messed it up for everybody, the FBI was going around doing plots on people. They was going to these poor Muslims. This is true. They was going to these people who converted to Islam, act like they Muslims, brainwashing these individuals, saying, I'm going to give you all this money to go blow up this. Most of the time, these Muslims who was doing that wasn't even praying in the mass shit. The FBI was purposely plotting to give these guys bags of money to say, blow up a plane. Then they put it on the news, look, a Muslim terrorist. Some people said, man, we never even see this individual pray one time in a prayer. You know what I mean? So they
might be right, man. They might be right. They did it to the Black Panthers. So what's to mean that they can't do it again? Yeah, man, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.